What is going on, guys? It's Sean here, the managing director at CinemaBlend, and if you are watching this video, you likely are playing along with me as I watch all of the episodes of Game of Thrones for the very first time and comment on them as we go. Hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, and for now, let's dive into Season 1, Episode 4. This one's called Cripples, Bastards, and Broken Things. So Cripples, I'm assuming, refers to Bran. Bastards, of course, Jon Snow. Broken Things, that's everybody on the show. Yes, the theme is now getting stuck in my head. I'm over wanting to skip it. I appreciate the map. And now the song just sounds majestic. Not like make it your ringtone majestic, but really like setting the table for some serious incest and beheading. Ah, the wall. Winter is coming to that wall. Will Jon still be there when it happens? That's what I wonder. There's so many other little subplots that he could be called back for. There's this small body of water that separates the Dothraki from the mainland. I have to assume eventually they're going to cross it. But right now, Ned sits there protecting the throne. And I'm assuming he's going to sit in it soon. Bran's up. And is walking. Flashback? Dream. Ugh. The heck?
Hold on.
First sighting of Hodor.
Help Bran down the hole.
Hold on.
The boy has lost the use of his legs.
What of it? With the right horse and saddle, even a cripple can ride.
I'm not a cripple.
Then I'm not a dwarf. My father will rejoice to hear it.
Why do you want to help him?
I have a tender spot in my heart for cripples, bastards, and broken things.
Nice. See, I think he's a good guy.
Is he some northern ass?
Ah, Jon is training an army.
Right. See what he can do.
He's probably great. Never mind.
I yield. Please, no more.
Never
On your
mind.
feet. Pick up your sword.
I was so wrong.
Looks like the bastard's in low.
Help, Piggy, help! Piggy is useless. If people like Sam are on the wall, then the wall is truly screwed. And they won't be able to protect the realm from anything. Momoa!
This is my army. Khal Drogo's marching the wrong way with my army.
Sniveling jerk. I can't wait till he gets his. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be delicious. I hope it's Khal Drogo who takes it to him. Ooh. New characters?
The breath of the greatest dragon fought the Iron Throne.
Ooh.
I have always wanted to see a dragon.
Me too.
There was Giscard, Arcanay, Vhagar,
Very unusual foreplay.
and Balerion.
So much
tournament that's
history in this episode.
Till tomorrow, my lord.
I've been hoping to talk to you about John Arryn.
Lord Arryn.
What did John want the night before he died?
Oh, he came inquiring after a book.
Thank you. I'll find my own way out.
Yeah, keep that book, Ned. It's going to be very important. Arya is going to be awesome as a fighter.
Sirio says every hurt is a lesson. And every lesson makes you better.
You will marry a High Lord and rule this castle.
No. That's not me.
No. She's destined for much greater things. I love the Stark family. So in on the Stark family.
Sir Alistair said I'm to be your new watch partner. I don't see all that well.
What do you do well?
What are you doing here, Sam?
On the morning of my 18th name day, my father came to me. Tomorrow, you're going to take the black, forsake all claim to your inheritance and start north. If you do not, then we'll have a hunt.
So many tragic stories in this show.
I'm not going to get any better, you know.
You can't get any worse.
Jon Snow, motivator.
I promised Cat that I'd help you.
Lord Baelish, perhaps I was wrong to distrust you.
Distrusting me was the wisest thing you've done since you climbed off your horse.
Good, I distrust you. Ned, do not follow that guy. He's totally setting you up. He is pulling every string in that kingdom. I'll end up being wrong, but I think he's awful.
When Lord Arryn came to visit you, what would you talk about?
Just asked me questions is all, my lord. Then he started asking me about my mother. She had yellow hair.
Get back to work, lad.
Yellow hair? Is he a
If the
Lannister?
day ever comes when that boy would rather wield a sword than forge one, you send him to me.
Or my way off.
Find anything?
King Robert's bastard son.
Ah. There you go.
The message from Lord Stark.
I don't serve Lord Stark.
I would think he'd want to read it.
Ah, Prince Porkchop. Where is it?
But if Thorne puts me up against Lady Piggy, I'm gonna slice me off a side of bacon.
You know, and they should. He's got to get tougher. Can't survive on the wall if you're soft. Woo! Look at this.
Touches some.
The runt. Come on, Sam. Come on. Ooh, they all fear Jon Snow.
I yield!
You think this is funny, do you?
I do.
You've no right to a braid. You've won no victories yet.
You do not talk back to me.
Oh!
I am a Khaleesi of the Dothraki. The next time you raise a hand to me will be the last time you have hands.
Finally! Finally!
You boys even remember the last winter? How long's it been now? What, 10 years? You don't know cold. The horses died first. Didn't have enough to feed them, to keep them warm. We should have had a couple of boys like you along, shouldn't we?
I don't want to see winter. So much history in this episode. This episode is just story on story on story.
I hate him. My brother will never take back the Seven Kingdoms. He'll never take us home.
You can. You can. Can and will. Oh, poor Sansa.
Lovers quarrel.
Why do they call you Littlefinger?
Arya!
When I was a child, I was very small. And I come from a little spit of land called the Fingers, so you see, it's an exceedingly clever nickname.
I've been sitting here for days!
You're a snake.
Start the damn joust before I piss myself.
This should be awesome. Ooh! Come on. The size of those lances. Right there. Ooh! He's down. Oh! 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 That is brutal. Whew! No.
Has anyone ever told you the story of the Mountain and the Hound?
Oh, another story.
Gregor found his little brother playing with a toy by the fire. He just grabbed his brother by the scruff of his neck and shoved his face into the burning coals.
Oh.
If the Hound so much as heard you mention it, I'm afraid all the knights in King's Landing would not be able to save you.
Then why tell her? Poor Sansa. Ooh, this should be
Grace.
Your older brother was trained to lead and you were trained to follow.
I was also trained to kill my enemies, Your Grace.
Yes. Gosh. Stark and Lannister drama?
I'm sorry, my lord. We'll fill up every room.
Look out.
My men can sleep in the stable.
Look out.
Myself, I don't require a large room.
Lady Stark.
Oh.
What an unexpected pleasure.
I was still Catelyn Tully the last time I stayed here.
I don't quite see the purpose of this.
Me neither. Not yet.
This man came into my house as a guest and there conspired to murder my son. I call upon you to seize him and help me return him to Winterfell to await the king's justice.
Whoa, here we go. Well, the accusations are out. Oh, good place to end. Season 1, Episode 4. It's all starting to hit the fan. And that's really interesting the way that that concludes, because by the start of this episode, what I put down in my notes is that Tyrion, I was beginning to wonder, and I'm still kind of wondering, if he isn't supposed to be on a hero's arc. And that's still might be where we're going, but clearly Lady Stark is going to now lay out the fact that she believes the Lannisters are responsible for the attack on Bran, which is really exciting, but it could be a little bit of bait and switch. This episode was just so much history. It's a lot of history. It's a lot of the legacy of the characters and moving some of them forward, but really tying together old stories to show who has loyalty to whom. You really, in the confrontation between Ned and the Lady Lannister, shows that conflict is going to come to a head. We meet a new character in Sam. And we're supposed to immediately feel really bad for Sam because he's incompetent. He's not good at just about anything. And he's, I guess, an ideal mentee for Jon Snow. But it's great that he now has an ally in Sam. Jon says to all the guys at the wall, like, this is our brother now. If I'm to guess, something tragic is going to happen to Sam. And probably right in front of Jon, or Jon will fail to protect him. We meet two important characters, or we meet a new important character during the joust. The Mountain. This massive dude who apparently took his brother, the Hound, and stuck his face in a fire. Everybody in this show is awful. Everyone's just horrible. The story, however, comes to us from Lord Baelish, and man, I don't trust this dude at all. He is classic sinister villain. He is at the heart of all of the corruption and manipulation that I think is going on in the kingdom. Ned starts to investigate the death of Jon Arryn, uncovers the fact that King Robert has a bastard, and I'm sure that character is going to be important later. Arya continues to train with Syrio, and she's going to get better and better, I would assume, as a swordsman. And then we meet Khaleesi, who's finally standing up to her brother. He's losing his grip or any sort of power. It's kind of determined that he's not the one who they should back on the way to the throne. What I wonder, though, is because it seems like Daenerys is starting to realize that, like, I'm the best play to get to the throne. And does that mean that she's going to turn on Khal Drogo? I don't know. I think I'm speculating way too far ahead. Distinct lack of Momoa in this episode. That was a little bit disappointing. And the throne. We see the throne, and we start to learn more about the history of the throne and how it's connected to and at least forged by dragons. There's a bunch of teases for dragons. I want to start seeing some dragons. I don't think we're going to see actual dragons in this show until those eggs that Khaleesi's holding on to eventually hatch. It might just take a little while to get there because we're only on season 1, episode 4. So, the experiment continues. We just finished Cripples, Bastards, and Broken Things, a line stated by Tyrion. So I hope you continue to follow along with me. Hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and keep up to date with everything that we're doing here at CinemaBlend.